So this is video 4 in my jump rope tutorial series, and it's all about the crossover. A lot of people have reached out to me and they said, I need some help on how to master the crossover. And to be honest, when you're learning jump rope, this is one of those most frustrating moves that takes a long time to learn. But a lot of people that are teaching online make a mistake about teaching the crossover, and this is why I started making jump rope tutorial videos, so you don't make that same mistake that I did, and then I had to kind of almost relearn. And what I mean is, when you do the crossover, you're gonna cross with one hand on top. Doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't really matter what hand goes on top. But the secret about the crossover, and this is what I had to learn the hard way, is once I got used to one hand, you wanna use the other hand on top. So you can alternate the crossovers. So whether your left hand is on top or your right hand, you're gonna be able to perform that crossover. Please listen to me, because it's one way is gonna feel natural. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I wanna do it this way. But take the time to learn the other way. For me, I think I practiced the crossover for about 3 months. And once I finally got the hang of it one way, I saw online that another guy could do it both ways. And then I was like, what? So I was really learning from the wrong person when I first learned the crossover. I'm not gonna say who it was online, but he can only do it one way. But the secret is you wanna be able to alternate. And just before I start, I'm gonna show you what I mean, and then I'll show you how I'm performing this move, okay? So here's the crossover. It's a nice slick move, but you can notice I'm alternating what hand is on top. If I was to just do it one way, this is how it looks. Still looks slick. You can go faster, but here's the other hand on top. Now, I wonder if you can tell which one is my dominant and which one is my weaker side, because I've tried to perfect both to make sure that I can do them equally well. The secret with the crossover, first of all, watch video 1 where I talk about sizing your rope, because if you have a really long rope, and if you watch my previous videos, you can see how much I struggled with the crossover, because I'm trying to make all of this distance, and it was a really jaggedy, not a really good technique. But when you get a shorter rope, you want to keep it tight. You want to keep everything tight. So your hands are right about here, and then when you cross, you're not crossing with much distance. The secret is your wrists. You kind of want to make this figure 8 move with your wrists when you're crossing. So you kind of go like this, and then you open the rope and close the rope. So this is kind of what it looks like in slow motion. As you're crossing, your wrists are moving, and then they move out. The crossover is kind of like, you know, like in the old Westerns, when they're gonna have a showdown and these guys they got 2 guns and they go like this. That's kind of what it is. You grab your guns, and then that's the move essentially, but you want to move the wrists in a motion. So I'm going to try to show you again, and pay attention to my wrists. Essentially, you're opening and closing the rope like that. So you're going in and out. Now, the secret with this technique is you don't have to do much movement. It's almost like, you know, like in baseball where they have the box for a strike, the strike box. I feel like I'm almost like in these tiles that I can't go out. That kind of forces me to make all the movement with my wrists. And the less movement, the less chance that you're gonna make a mistake, especially once you get a hang of it. So let me show you the crossover from the side. So here we go. And I'm just moving my wrists in that figure 8. My hands are staying tight. My hands are staying tight to my body. And then I just kind of move it. Another thing I'm doing, because my rope is so short, is I'm almost kind of pointing down with my fingers and then opening it up. So it's really about opening the rope and closing the rope. And you really got to get a feel of the rope, because that's what you got to do to perform the crossover. So again, open, close. Now, when you're learning the crossover, you're probably going to use one way on top, but like I said, alternate. Make sure you can do it. So for example, let me put some music on. So in this drill, what I'm going to do is cross over with one way, my left arm on top for 5, and then the other way for 5, okay? Let's go ahead and do this. Here we go. 5 on the left on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're gonna do 5 with the right on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're gonna do 5 alternating between left and right on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the drills that you want to practice when you're doing the crossover. Make sure you give equal amount of time for which one is on top. And then it will become natural to you. So again, when it comes to learning the crossover, you're gonna have one hand on top, but my trick and my urging to you is to learn both ways. So then use the other way on top. It's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel very uncomfortable. You're gonna trip a lot, but please learn that other way as well, because you don't wanna be those people who can only cross one way, and then when they try to do the other way, they can't. You can only learn this once when you're learning jump rope. It's so hard once you've learned to try to learn that again. So that's my biggest takeaway, folks. Learn the crossover. You're gonna have one hand on top, but learn with the other hand on top as well. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these jump rope tutorial video series, and let me know what you're struggling with, and I'll make videos all about that. I'm Andy Baryer, Handy Andy, and we'll see you again in the next video.